All right, it's running. Great. Um, okay, welcome back to the RuyZ project, Roy Reacts. And today, well, tonight, we have a new setup. Three main things. I'll try to cover it in like 30 seconds flat. So first of all, we have moved a lot of items around the room. We would completely rearrange the entire room so that we can get up from bed right when we wake up and still, if we feel like it, just immediately on the bed, start reacting, start doing the live stream, start working on the project. Second thing is just the whole residency being moved around, and rearranging all the equipment, technology, office equipment, clothing, everything in general, just to fit a new criterion of putting privacy as number one. Because living in this household where there's so many tenants, including the landlord, and some of them happen to be quite abusive, okay? And I'm careful when I use that word because I know how politically sensitive that is nowadays. You use these words and then you have to be careful. But I'm just going to call out for what it is. So I have to maintain as much privacy as I can when I'm doing these reactions in these live streams. And I've tried to move the recording equipment as far away as I can from the ears, the noisy eavesdropping of other tenants and potentially the landlords, because they've caused a lot of trouble. Ironically, even though I'm the tenant, you would expect he's not really tenants, but sometimes the landlords can be, now on top of that, the last thing I want to mention is being able to do this. Oh right, is the lifestyle. It's like the sleeping. I've tried to get my schedule back on track, and I've been able to successfully do that to a degree. And then I hit a major roadblock about last week, and I could only wake up 2 days out of 7. That's crazy. That's like what you call like a 30% success rate. I've just been waking up at all the wrong times. So we haven't been able to punch out the reactions that we wanted to. Long story short, where we are at now is we finally have some things in together in order. Rearranging the room was really the most important part. I've done a little bit of photography of all the different areas and regions, roughly about 7 or 8 areas, and 7 or 8 regions, broken down into roughly how many sections? About 60 sections. And so it took a lot of time. I would say about 40 of those sections, so about 2/3, were rearranged, and had to put a lot of thought, but not too much, so as to maintain some practicality. That took way longer than 30 seconds, but basically that's what I got done. So that was really critical for me to be able to continue reacting and get back on track. I just realized how. So first of all, it was getting the sleep cycles, just the lifestyle cycle in order, health basically, fitness, all that jazz. Second is being able to maneuver all the equipment, the material stuff, the physical possessions around in this room. And third has to do really with kind of relations. So landlord-tenant relations inside this household, dysfunctional relations. And what we're doing to mediate that, which is privacy. We're trying to move as much of the recording equipment as far as I can in the room away from them being able to hear. And part of this is I have to be respectful and mindful of the fact that I am recording at night. So I have to be toned down. I have to tone down my volume a little bit, which I've always tried to do, but it's not quite enough. So let's go. Okay, so let's start recording. And that was a very long blurb. I feel like I almost want to cut that out. I feel like I just want to remove that completely, to be honest. Which I might do actually. Thank goodness that I actually have these multiple edits. So what we're going to do is going to be reacting to KNOX Hill's North Face featuring King Moses and KVNG Moses. We're doing this because KNOX is also reacting to a lot of interesting stuff. He's been doing this for at least, I believe, 1 or 2 years, punching out reactions to music. And he's a rapper himself. I believe he started on YouTube. He used to be one of those, like, YouTube rappers, but he's gotten really, really professional. And he's made it. Now, I could be wrong. I don't remember. I should have done my research, honestly. But KNOX was, I think, a YouTube rapper. He might not be. Maybe he was just underground, but not on YouTube the whole time. Either way, all I know is I can say that I've listened to some of his work in the previous years, and I really enjoy what he has to push out. So what I'm trying to do now is basically, after I think about 4 days ago, reacting to his reaction of Slipknot, Psychosocial. What I'm doing now is essentially paying some respect and do my due diligence to react to some of his own content for allowing me to react to. Of course, there's no permission or anything like that because it's all public content, and I did try to do as much, my due diligence as fair use is concerned. So some editing, cutting out some stuff, and most importantly, just most of it is commentary. I speak a lot. To be honest, I speak way more probably than most reactors do. It's more like a review than it is a reaction, in fact. So I think I'm fairly safe when it comes to that aspect. However, even so, I want to, give my thanks and gratitude by actually reacting to directly some of his content, as opposed to his reaction of another band's music, which was at that time Slipknot, Psychosocial. Which, for the record, it's not a reaction for me. It's my reaction to his reaction of Slipknot, Psychosocial, because I actually love Psychosocial and I have listened to it before. And I remember like 2 years ago, I would blast that shit in the shower because I was going through a really hard time. And the lyrics were, "Throw ourselves against the wall. No one else can see the self-preservation of the martyr in me." And at that time, I was absolutely sabotaging myself and bringing out a very wallowing, self-pitying, attention-seeking kind of very awful state of mind. I was very unhealthy, and I was not a very good person. I was a pretty bad person at the time. I guess everyone is kind of bad. Okay, fine. So I'll cut myself a little bit of slack. Everyone's a pretty bad person when they're in a bad spot. But it depends, Some people just, I've been in that state before where I wasn't a bad person, even though I was in a bad situation, right? A lot of people who are in bad situations can go one of two routes. One is they become an awful person, right? And then the other route is to be awful to themselves, and they let people take advantage of them. So this is usually when they go into depression, and that's usually the very opposite. If you go into anxiety, you tend to be a bit of an awful person because you become sort of attention-seeking, and are erratic and unpredictable. But if you get depressed, usually what's happening there is you kind of just shut down, and you blame yourself for everything, and you become like a doormat and very people-pleasing. So it's like the two polar opposites there, right? When you're going through a difficult time, you could end up really hurting other people and not giving enough care for yourself, or you could end up hurting yourself and caring way too much about others. I'm not sure if I just repeated myself twice, but you get the idea, right? And I was definitely the first time in my entire life, I was actually the awful person, and that's awful. I feel so guilty about that. But I'm glad to have moved on since that point. Obviously, the guilt, the shame, and also the rage, the anger, and the bitterness is all gone now. It's not all gone, but anyways, where was I going with this? The point is that Slipknot, Psychosocial, I knew that song very well, and Knox Hill reacted to that, and then I reacted to his reaction, and now we're going to react to Knox Hill's song, his own rap, and it's a collab with King Moses. So it looks like it's got 28k views, 11 days, released 11 days ago. I don't know if it would, 11 days ago. show more. You can stream it now on hypereddit apparently.com. Subscribe to him, of course, on Instagram, Twitter, all that crap. All that crap. I don't mean it in that way. You know, it's just like all the socials. Just sounds like marketing. That's why I say all that crap, right? No, but seriously, subscribe to him. He's a great artist. Spotify, Instagram, yeah. And he's got other songs here, right? Survivor, Blood, Blame Shady, Slim Shady. Okay, great. So just give him a little thumbs up there, maybe. And let's get right into it. Let's listen to what he's got to spit out in this song, right? And just to be totally fair here, it's been a long time since I listened to rap music, for sure. This is I don't have the whole. I've lost a lot of the ghetto vibes. The way I'm speaking right now, it's not full of slang anymore like I used to, or I didn't even used to for a long time. It was something I picked up after a while. So I don't have the slang going on. I'm not like throwing gang signs or anything like that. I'm not. If ever I was into rap, I was more of a technical admirer. So I like the whole spiritual miracles kind of. Spiritual lyrical miracle kind of stuff, and but even then, like I've lost whatever I learned from that to a reasonable degree. I don't know if it's lost. It's kind of like put in the back shelf, yeah. So I'm not probably not gonna be able to catch very many bars. I'm not in that mindset anymore. I'm not in my rap phase, you could say. But let's just do it anyways. Like, pay homage to KNOX. Let's see what he has to say. What you got? Let's go. He's got a sick flow, by the way. I know that. Heat is burning cold when it's and aggression. He's got a lot of aggression when he wants to. The way he just enunciates all the syllables, his cadence, his rhythm. KNOX still knows what he's doing. Meters turning roll with us. See him, they don't know hitters. Peter rose the most in us. Lukewarm in the dark. Matthew's got a mark verse. Him, no testament. If you got the answers, will it leave it with your next of kin? Rapping out of Maryland, no mansions that I'm building. I'm a vogue killer, road dealer, soaked in an old river. Life's a cold bitch. Fuck a code, I'm going in her. My homie was a hitter till they gave him 3 strikes. He was on deck, turned left, now they reading him his rights. He ain't seeing hope for life. I guess evil has a price, still I see him on these nights. Devil on my shoulder saying, let me take that burden. My homie was a hitter till they gave him 3 strikes. He was on deck, turned left, now they reading him his rights. He ain't seeing hope for life. I guess evil has a price, still I see him on these nights. Is he speaking about his friend? So if you didn't catch that, basically it's, I mean, between the bars, yeah, the lyricism is fire, of course. He's always good at that shit, but what I mean is, he was just talking on his, probably his old friend, who just got tossed to prison for probably staying in the hood and doing things he shouldn't be, probably dealing drugs and stuff like that. Yeah, evil has a price. Hold on, let's repeat that. I'm interested in what he has to say, of course, and it took me like about a minute and a half just to get into the whole. I had that dumbass smile on my face, like it's so fucking right, it's so peaceful and whatnot. You don't listen to rap like that, man. I had that dumbass smile on my face. Right, you gotta get your head in the grind, right? It's gotta be. You don't listen to rap like that. Think of like Slim Shady, but let's. I want to go back. Who's he talking about? Lukewarm in the roll with us. See him, they. Heat is burning cold when his meters turning roll with us. See him, they don't know hitters. Peter roast the most in us. Lukewarm in the dark. And yeah, I'm missing a lot of bars, of course. Like a lot is going over my head. It's just like shh every single time. But we're going back just because we wanted to know about. We wanted to get the story, right? We want to get the message behind it. What's he saying? No testament. If you got the answers with testament. Leave it with your next of kin. Rapping out of Maryland, no mansions that I'm building. I'm a vogue killer, road dealer, soaked in an old river. Life's a cold bitch, fuck a code, I'm gone. Will it leave it with your next of kin? Rapping out of Maryland, no mansions that I'm building. I'm a vogue killer, road dealer, soaked in an old river. Life's a cold bitch, fuck a code, I'm going in her.
My homie was a hitter till they gave him 3 strikes. He was on deck, turn left, now they reading him his rights. He ain't seeing hope for life, I guess evil has a price. Still I see him on these nights. Devil on my shoulder saying, let me take the burden. There's levels to this soldier, you won't make it without purpose. There's metals in that toaster, you won't make it out for certain. Smell the pics, I'm staying kosher, play the game, there's no reloading. I've been pushing way. Check these cuts, I've been moving frame. They say that they love you till it's gray. Now they eating from your table, pass and play. It's a cold way. Check these cuts, I've been moving frame. They say that they love you till it's gray. Now they eating from your table, pass and play. It's a cold world, better pack in North Face. Cold world, better pack in North Face. Cold world, better pack in North Face. It's a cold world, don't forget your North Face.
It's a cold world, I have a cold heart just to master move. From College Station where everybody have an attitude.
Back in North Face. It's a cold world, don't forget your North Face.
It's a cold world, I have a cold heart just to master move.
Cold world, don't forget your North Face.
It's a cold world, I have a cold heart just to master move. From College Station where everybody have an attitude.